Good day, everyone. I am reporter for today, Miss Ana Lourdes A. Marapok from B.Ed 2C. And today we will talk about The Hymn to Labor by Dr. Jose Rizal. Hymn to Labor is one of the written works of Jose Rizal. So what is Hymn to Labor? So Himno al Trabajo, or in Filipino, Dalit sa Paggawa, and in English, Hymn to Labor, is a poem written by Dr. Jose Rizal. The poem was requested by his friends from Lipa, Batangas in January 1888 in reaction to the Becerra Law and to address the hardships of Lipeños, or people from Lipa. The hymn was a poem praising Lipeños who were working hard for the country. The poem is composed of conversations by men, women, and children in praise of men who made a living in agriculture. The song also states that agriculture is the solution to poverty and the road to progress. So, Hymn to Labor. For the motherland in war, for the motherland in peace, will the Filipino keep watch? He will live until life will cease. Now the east is glowing with light. Go to the field to till the land, for the labor of man sustains family, home, and motherland. Hard the land by May turn to be, scorching the rays of the sun above, for the country, wife, and children, all will be easy to our love. Go to work with spirits high, for the wife keeps home faithfully, inculcates love in her children for virtue, knowledge, and country. When the evening brings repose, on returning joy awaits you, and if fate is adverse, the wife shall know the task to continue. Hail, hail, praise the labor of the country, wealth and vigor, for it brow serenes exalted, is her blood, life, and ardor. If some youth would show his love, labor his faith will sustain. Only a man who struggles and works will his offspring know to maintain. Teach us, yea, the laborious work, to pursue your footsteps we wish. For tomorrow, when country calls us, we may be able your task to finish. And on seeing us, the elders will say, Look, they're worthy of their sires of yore. Incense does not honor the dead, as does a sun with glory and valor. So here is the summarization of the Hymn to Labor. So, the poem The Hymn to Labor by Jose Rizal is a call to labor that focuses on four different groups of Filipino society: the men, wives, maidens, and children. Each of these groups has its own stanza and chorus in the hymn. So in the men's chorus of the hymn, the group calls for their fellows to go out into the field and till the land. The men say that their labor will sustain the Philippines and that they must overcome all odds, such as the hot rays of the sun and back-breaking work in order to do so. The women's stanza of the hymn supports and fortifies the man's will to work. The women's chorus says that the man should go to work with spirits high, because the women are at home watching over the house and the children. The women are tasked with teaching their children to love, virtue, knowledge, and country. So the maiden stanza further solidifies the importance of the young man's labor. The maiden's chorus states that the love of youth is sustained with the struggle and work of labor. The final stanza of the hymn is sung by the children, who ask for the older groups to teach them how to follow in their footsteps and finish their laborious task. Rizal created the hymn in an effort to reshape the moral and ethical values of a Filipino society that was held under Spanish occupation at that time. So let us go to the narrative of the poem. The poem contains four conversational verses which talks about the duties and responsibilities of the members of the society, stretching from the man's work wife's devotion, and the maiden's glamour down to the children's excitement to grow. This poem composes of a chorus which suggests the courage and the love of country of Filipino during the time of the national hero, Jose Rizal. It proposes that each of these groups has a role to play in society and that they should stick to these roles. The persona of the poem is someone first four lines of verses of the hymn serves as the chorus, where it indicates that every Filipino should keep a watchful yet loving eye on his country with equal passion at wartime and in times of peace. They must be courageous enough to fight for the country even if it costs his or her life. The first stanza is sung by the men. This is the first of four societal groups identified in this hymn, which signifies that all members of society without regards for gender or age should uphold and honor their country. The role of a wife during the time of Rizal was plain and simple. She was the steward of the home, the mother of the children. The second verse pays tribute to mothers who dedicate their lives to the rearing and upbringing of their children, teaching them the right values and morals to become upright citizens. Education and formation, after all, begin and end in the home. In the last two lines, it is evident that given the precarious nature of life in a time when war is imminent, wives may lose their husbands, and so it is in their capable hands to carry out the business of men in the context of home and family. Should the men find themselves no longer able to do their duty. Hymn to Labor, this verse, which is sung by wives, pays tribute to mothers who dedicate their lives to the rearing and upbringing of their children, teaching them the right values and morals to become upright citizens. Education and formation, after all, begin and end in home. The third verse is sung by maidens who salute to labor and encourage the young men to give their lives to hard work and industry for the good of the nation. This is supposed to be sung with joy and pride, signifying that no fair maiden wants a lazy young man who sits and waits for nothing all day long, but instead cheers for that youth full of valor and expresses her willingness to be that youth's wife on account of his spirit, not merely his looks. It is apparent in Filipino culture then and now that children have high regard for the approval of their elders. The last verse of the song underlines the importance of keeping the culture and tradition that is handed down to them from the previous generation, and that they, in future, will hand down to their own sons and daughters. It also expresses the children's wish to pursue the footsteps of those that have gone before them, in preparation for when the time comes for them to take charge, however premature and unexpected that time may be. Jose Rizal's patriotism is shown in this poem, Hymn to Labor, where he urged his fellow men to strive and work for their country, whether in war or in peace. So that's all of my report, and I hope you understand some of it. Thank you!